Follow along to create this simple interactive drop-down component in Figma. Press T and type out your word. This will be the placeholder text within your drop-down input field. Smash Shift A to apply auto layout. Now let's add a little bit of padding on the sides to tidy it up. Now let's open up the plugins and search for Lucid Icons. Within Lucid Icons, you want to drop in two icons. You want to drop in a down chevron and an up chevron. Select both of them, go up to the top right hand corner with the three little dot guys and click Create Multiple Components. This is going to make it easier later on when you need to switch out the chevron. Now drag a copy of the down chevron and put it into that auto layout frame that we created before. Now let's stretch this auto layout frame a little bit. Select the word and change the width of it from hug to fill. Let's style up this drop down field a little bit. Let's round the corners and let's add a stroke to it. And then we'll change the colors of the icon and the text to soften it. We'll change the color of the stroke. Copy a version of this to start making the second part. We're now going to make the drop down items, and then we're going to put a couple of drop down items together to make a drop down menu. With the one you copied across, let's change the wording and let's also remove the icon. We're also going to change the corner radius from 8 to 4 and get rid of the stroke. Click Create Component and now drag a copy of it. Make another copy, and with both of them selected, smash Shift A to apply auto layout. Within the auto layout frame, make a couple more duplicates, and now let's rename our layers. I like to keep it nice and tidy when I can, and this is going to be our drop down menu. And let's go to the component that we made before and keep this renaming layer train going and make this drop down item. Now let's style up this drop down menu a little bit. Let's apply some padding. Let's add a white fill background. And let's apply a soft drop shadow as well so it stands out more. Now with our drop down menu selected, click Create Component. Now we have our drop down item component and our drop down menu component, which consists of the drop down item components within it. Now drag a copy of your drop down menu component and pull it across to underneath your drop down input field. And let's keep this rename train going and make this one drop down input. Now with the input and the menu selected, press Shift A. Let's rename this one drop down. And let's go up and click Create Component. Let's add a variant. And this will be a state variant. Now with your drop down selected, make sure you go down and you turn on clip content. Now select the drop down component and drag up from the bottom to the top, the outside box. So now you can't see the drop down menu anymore. Add a variant. This is going to be the hover state. Now double click in so the drop down input is selected, and add a fill color so it's obvious that it's being hovered. And now I forgot before, so go back to the default one and make sure you add a fill state to the drop down input as well, just a white one. Now add one more state. This is why I said it's helpful to make the icons components at the start. Now with your icon selected, go up to the top right where it says chevron down, open that up, and there is chevron up. That's why it's so great to make them multiple components. So it's so easy to change them later on. Now with your drop down selected, change it from fixed height to hug, so your menu is revealed again. Now we're gonna make it interactive. Go up to the top right and click prototype and drag a noodle from the default to the hover, and make sure the trigger is while hovering, and change it from instant to smart animate, and let's bump up the easing to 450. Now let's drag another noodle from hover to open and make sure this is on click smart animate, and now drag one more noodle from the open state to the default state to close the loop, and we'll make this one on click smart animate 450 as well, but we'll change the curve from ease out to ease in. Now that's the basis of the interactive drop-down component setup, but we can add one more level to it so it feels more interactive in the prototype. Now with our drop-down item component that we created before, add a variant property, name the first one default, and then add a variant, and this will be our hover. Now change the fill color to the same fill color that we used before for the other hover so it feels consistent. Now open up prototype and drag a noodle from the default to the hover. Make sure the settings are while hovering, smart animate 450. Now drag a copy of your drop down menu component to test it out. Put it into your frame and then make sure that you bring it to the front. With your frame selected in the top right corner, press prototype, and now you can test out your interactive drop-down component. So when you hover over the drop-down, you get the first interaction we set up. When you click it, the drop-down opens to reveal the hover that we set up for the menu items as well. And when you click one of the items while you're hovering it, the menu will close. And that's how you create a super simple interactive drop-down component in Figma. I've been getting lots of comments on my short videos saying that they're too fast to follow along to make interactive components like this. So I'm gonna start making some long form ones as well, which are a bit more laid back and easier to follow along. If there's any other interactive Figma components you want me to create, leave a comment below. Check out another video here.